Hello, everyone, and welcome. Before we begin, I want to share a simple thought with you. Change is painful, but growth is beautiful. This reminds us that whenever we step out of our comfort zone, it may feel tough at first, but in the end, it helps us grow and become better. With that spirit, let's get started. Now, let's take a quick look at the topics we will be covering. We will start with what we already know and then move into the main concept. Next, we will see how classification works with an example. After that, we will break down what just happened and understand the idea behind minimizing errors. Finally, we will wrap up with another example to see how mistakes in classification can actually be reduced. So, step by step, everything will get clearer as we move ahead. Alright, let's start with what we already know. In linear regression, we use this familiar equation y hat equals w1x1 plus w2x2 and so on plus b. This gives us a number like predicting marks or the price of a product. But now we are shifting to classification. Interestingly, we still use the same equation, but the purpose is different. Instead of predicting how much, we now want to predict which class, like yes or no, spam or not spam, pass or fail. So what happens to this equation? The value we calculate called z is not directly the answer. It's just a score that helps the model decide. If z is high, the model leans towards class 1. If it's low, it leans towards class 0. And finally, we use a simple threshold, usually 0, to make the decision. If z is greater than or equal to 0, we say class 1. Otherwise, it's class 0. So earlier we saw that in classification, we don't directly use the value of z. Instead, we just use it to decide which class something belongs to. Now here's the key idea. In classification, we are not trying to fit the best line for values like regression. Instead, we try to fit the best boundary that separates the classes. As you can see in this diagram, all the points with plus sign falls on one side and the minus signs falls on the other. The line in the middle is called the decision boundary. On one side of the boundary, we have the positive reason, and on the other side, the negative reason. This is how classification works, by drawing boundaries that clearly separate the classes. Alright, now that we understand the idea of decision boundaries, let's look at a simple example to see classification in action. Classification is all about predicting categories like pass or fail, spam or not spam, disease or no disease. Here's a small data set where we have marks, attendance, and the actual result, pass or fail. We use our linear model with weights and bias to make predictions. The rule is simple. If z is greater than or equal to 0, we predict 1, which means pass. If z is less than 0, we predict 0, which means fail. Let's check step by step. For the first student, marks are 70 and attendance is 80. The model predicts pass, which matches the actual result, correct. For the second student, marks 50 and attendance 60. The model predicts fail, again correct. For the third student, marks 60 and attendance 70. The model predicts fail, but actually it should be pass. So here the model makes a mistake. Finally, for the fourth student, 40 marks and 50 attendance. Prediction is fail, which is correct. So out of 4 students, the model got 3 right and 1 wrong. And the key takeaway is this: classification works by using weights and bias to separate categories. But predictions can sometimes be wrong, and the goal of training is to find better weights that minimize these errors. In the previous example, we saw classification step by step with a data set and checked where the model was correct or wrong. But you might be wondering, how does the model actually calculate these predictions using weight and bias? So let's take a very simple example to understand this. Our goal is still the same: predict whether a student will pass or fail based on marks and attendance. Let's assume the model has already learned these values. W1 is 0.3, W2 is 0.4, and B is minus 50. Now let's test with student A. Marks are 70, attendance is 80. If we put these values into our equation, we get z is equal to 3. Since z is greater than 0, the rule says predict pass. Student A will pass. Now take student B with 50 marks and 60 attendance. This time the calculation gives us z is equal to minus 11. Since that's less than 0, the model predicts fail. So this example shows us clearly how weights and bias combined with our decision rule determine the final prediction. It makes the math behind classification much more concrete. So what just happened here? We used the same kind of formula that we had in linear regression, but this time we didn't take the output as a number directly. Instead, we use it to make a decision, pass or fail. This is exactly what we called binary classification. For example, with inputs 70 and 80, we got z is equal to 3, which means pass. And with 50 and 60, we got z is equal to minus 11, which means fail. So the formula stays the same, but the way we interrupt the result is what makes it classification. Now you might be thinking, what if the model makes mistakes? How does it actually get better? This is where the idea of minimizing error comes in. The model tries different values of weights and bias. For each set, it checks how many predictions are wrong, then it updates the weights and tries again. The goal is simple: choose the values where the number of errors is the lowest. So the learning process looks like this: try, check error, update, try again. And this process is automated using optimization algorithms like gradient descent, which we will talk about later. That's how model learns to improve over time. All right, let's see this process in action with an example. Our goal is to find the best values of W1, W2, and B so that we can make the fewest classification mistakes. Here's our data set again with marks, attendance, and the actual result. Step 1. We start with one set of weights. W1 is 0.3, W2 is 0.4, and B is minus 50. When we calculate predictions, the model gets 3 correct but it makes 1 mistake. So the error is 1. Step 2. Now we try another set. W1 is 0.5, W2 is 0.6, and B is minus 80. This time all predictions are correct. The error is 0. So clearly, the second set of weights is better. What just happened? We tried one set, got errors. We tried another, got fewer errors. The model keeps doing this until it finds the best weights. And the key takeaway is this: the model learns by trying different weight values, checking the wrong predictions, and adjusting to reduce the error. Of course, in real machine learning, we don't do this trial and error manually. Instead, an optimization algorithm like gradient descent does it automatically with math. And that's bringing us to the end of this session. I hope the concepts of classification are much clearer now, from the equation to decision boundaries, examples, and finally how the model learns by minimizing errors. Thank you so much for watching and learning with me. See you in the next session. Till then, take care and keep learning. Bye-bye.